Okay guys, we're going to play some Banished. We're going to jump right in here, and we're going to be playing on map seed 10, 10, 10, 10, 1. So that's 10 4 times in a row, followed by a 1. Terrain type, valleys, terrain size large, climate mild, disasters off, starting conditions easy. Not exactly the most challenging thing in the world, obviously, but this is a guide video, so I'm just going to show you some best practices, and I can tell you that seed that I just mentioned, you may want to go back and write it down, because I think it's a fantastic seed, especially if you're just starting out in Banished. So right now, we're going to set these guys, which is what I always do. If you're started in a wooded area, you always are. So what we're going to do is we're going to removal and destruction tools. We're going to go over to remove resources, and that just means everything I select is going to get destroyed. So let's just say pretty much all of this is going to go. Tons of trees, some rock, or stone rather, not a ton. But anyway, you're going to see your guys do their opening thing here where they go to the barn, and then they grab some food, take it to their homes, and then they're going to go about the task that you set forth for them. Now I am working with kind of limited screen real estate. I sized it down from my normal screen size right now, so I'm not going to show you all the screens I usually use, just the important ones. So we're going to go to Tools and Reports, and then we're going to go to this fourth button here, which is your professions. I always have this open. It lets you see these requirements and the allocations you currently have for your citizens and their professions, essentially. Obviously, that's really important for making your civilization as effective as possible. So these guys, since they're all laborers right now, they're going to go out and just pretty much decimate this area. Full disclosure here, this is take 2 of this video. My first video was just too long, and I was trying to show some best practices and whatnot, but really all I ended up showing was that I like to talk too much, and that essentially there are just tons of ways to play this game, and that makes it difficult to teach. A lot of it is just trial and error. One thing I learned in my prior attempt here is that even though if you zoom out here, you've just got forest for days, it's almost overwhelming how much real estate you have to work with. So we're going to keep it simple this time, because sometimes simple really is best. And the first thing we're going to do is, obviously, we need some food. So we're going to go again, Tools and Reports, and then General Statistics. We're going to click that, and then we're going to have this up here in our top left corner all the time, just to show us our supplies. On easy, you're going to have 1,500 food to start out with, and you think that's a lot, but it really isn't. So first things first, the simplest way to get food in Banished is to farm. It's one of the oldest forms, obviously, of gathering food in human history. That's really how we got a lot of our food. After the whole hunter-gatherer phase went on, I would go for some hunting and gathering, but in Banished you have to have buildings to do that, which really in reality is nonsense, but in this game you have to have it. So easiest way to do it is not the oldest trick in the book, but it is a very effective way to get food, and that's farming. So all this area that they're clearing here, hopefully they get their sweet little move on. We're going to bump it up to 2 times speed here, which will really help, because I don't want to have you guys sitting here for ages watching me. That wouldn't be any fun. You should be out there playing Banished. We're going to clear this area real quick. We're going to go over to Food Production, and then Crop Field. And I make my crop fields either 5 by 10 if it's a smaller field, or a 10 by 10. So either 50 or 100 square blocks, and any larger than 100, you're going to run into situations where you need multiple people to farm a single field, and I find that to be a waste of time. So at most my fields are 10 by 10. If you need more food, just make more fields, don't make them bigger. So I'm going to build a couple here. We're actually going to set up 3, 5 by 10, 5 by 10. We're going to do a 10 by 10 break here. That's for later. And then another 5x10. Alright, we're going to assign a crop to it. We're going to do corn on this one. We're going to do potato on this one. And we're going to bump up here 2 farmers needed, 2 farmers assigned. We're going to get this shiz going because time is always short, especially when you're playing at a time multiple. And, you know, I wouldn't suggest going any faster than 2 times because let's just say bad things can start to happen really fast, and that's never a good thing. We're almost out of storage space here. It's at 100%, so they're just going to start piling crap on the ground, which is a big pain in the ass. So we're going to put another stockpile down here. I really like the 4x6, so we're going to do another 4x6 right here. And we're going to put something special here later, so right now we just need to get this stuff off the ground and get it stored properly. As you can see, we already got our people working the ground on this one and this one. We got our laborers clearing the ground for our future farm, which is just going to be this last little log. Come on, log lady, get that log. Alright, she's got it, and now our farm is ready to be assigned. So we've got 1 of each before. We're just going to do corn again, and then we need 3, so we'll bump it to 3. We're in spring, which is fine. I mean, ideally you want to plant your crops early spring if you can. That way it gives them the most time possible to grow. But you know, you don't always have that luxury of time, especially when you start. You know, because you do have to invest the time to clear the land and whatnot. So honestly, year 1, it's just a lot of housekeeping. Okay, so this you know, these fields here, that's going to be good for food, although it's not going to help us right now because obviously you've got to grow it. Unfortunately, there are really no fast ways to get food in this game, aside from trading, but you can't trade without a trading post, so that's kind of another thing for another day. One thing we are going to need, and soon, is logs, and like what I'm going to do, I'm going to have them go here, destruction, removal and destruction again. And I'm just going to tell them again, we're short on stone, so we've got plenty of logs, but you know, we're going to need it sooner than later, so we're just going to say remove resources, and we're just going to take all of this. And that'll give us some more space to work with also if you got to build some more buildings in the spring. And you know, more resources is always also good. Also, I find if you it's kind of one way to think about it is if your people are busy, they're not going to be let's just say getting busy in other ways. So if you're early on, you're worried about food supply, you also got to worry about population control, and one of the only ways to control these horny bastards is to keep them busy. So send them out to work. You know, laborers, they tend to be a little bit on the lazy side, so if you don't want babies, give them something else to work on. So we see we've got our crops going here. It's good. In light of what I said about work, let's get some more work going here. So we're going to go to food production. We're going to do a pasture, and I think the minimum size for a pasture, let's see, you can get away with a 6x6, but that doesn't really give you much room, and you can only have like 3 cattle in there, so that's what this 10x10 is for. So they will now go to work building that. Now this is the first thing we've seen in this particular game that needs builders. So they got 0 out of 2. We're going to go here and bump it up to 2. And another way to adjust the number of citizens allocated to this profession that's needed, the builders, is with these buttons here. Each window, let's see, no, I don't have enough to show you, but each window here literally has a number of, you can adjust the allocation in every single window that has one of these, so that's pretty handy. So we're going to go ahead, let them do some work here. Cattle is good, I believe. I haven't done much with cattle, honestly, because I've been playing on harder difficulties. In harder difficulties, you don't start out with cattle, so I know they're going to be good for food. Let's put it that way. I believe this 10 by 10 will hold 5 cattle, and so when a calf is born, they'll kill an adult, which seems a little bit off, but you kind of have to. So you kill an adult, that'll give you some food, which is good for your survival, obviously. So, let's see, we're in late spring. This is actually great. We're making a good time here, guys. So, next thing we're going to do, we're going to need some more sources of food here. So we're going to do a fishing dock, which again, under food production, fishing dock. We're going to use either our R key or our T key to rotate either clockwise or counterclockwise. We're going to put one there. And it has 0 out of 2 again, but we're in no real hurry, honestly. We've got 1,000 food, which honestly a little bit low, but we'll be fine. And we got 2 builders over here, but it's 89–90% complete, so we'll let these 2 builders automatically move from the pasture over to the fishing dock, and that'll be good. Plus they can't really start building until these resources are added anyway. Oh man, I am running out of breath, and only got a few more minutes here, so I may break my own rule here. I don't like going faster than 2 times, but just to get us through to winter, I'm going to bump it up to 5. And that's really going to get these guys some fire under their butts. So the pasture is done. The only cattle we haven't done any trading, is just cattle. And we need a herdsman, 0 out of 1. So we'll pick one. We'll pick one from this global drop down, or you can do it over here. So now we got somebody working, and the herdsman will, if they don't come in here on their own like these guys did, the herdsman will actually go out and bring the cattle in, which is good. Like I said, yeah, it'll hold 5 cattle. Yeah. Jeez, I'm running out of breath, seriously. So yeah, this is going really, really well. Really fast, actually. That's great. Since we're so close to being done, I'm actually going to allocate fishermen to it automatically. You just kind of have to know, but fishing docks can employ up to 4. I don't want to overfish this area, so I just did 2. And you'll see, there we go, bam, we got our 2 guys assigned automatically. And now we don't have a need for builders, so we'll decrease, it says 0, we're going to decrease this 2 to 0. And we got more people in the labor force. Let's see here, we got a good amount of tools. Clothing is fine, we won't have to worry about that until probably next year sometime. So it's not a big deal. Nice thing to do is just honestly just to plan. You know, I mean, you don't want to get caught off guard, so you know you're going to need space. If you've got food sorted out in year 1, that's fine. I mean, it's early summer, we got tons of time, but really what you should be doing is just prepare for year 2. So what I'll do is I'm again going to tell them to go remove resources, and you'll see I like to do everything in a grid. I just like to keep things organized. So let's see, here's this, we're going to go over 5 again, and I don't really want to do it, so if you ever do something and you're like, oh crap, I don't want to do that, you can just, without releasing your first mouse button, your left, you just right click and it cancels what you were doing. So we'll do it again. We're going to go over 5 blocks, cancel, move over 1, and then go over here 5, cancel over 1, and then that is going to give me a nice sharp line. We're just going to remove all these resources. So I'll have a nice, when springtime comes, I'll have lots of nice area to work with. Speaking of springtime, I'm actually going to pause the video here. I'm not going to do anything meaningful. I'm just going to let some time pass, and then I'm going to show you fall and just food. Because when this stuff starts to harvest, this food, which has been rapidly falling, because we don't really have any sources of food right now, is going to start ticking up dramatically, which is a really good thing. So we'll pause the video here, and I'll bring you guys back in the fall.